and I'm really excited to share that information with you guys. We have some passive fundraising options. We have some kind of more traditional fundraising options. And then of course we always have creative options, which is my favorite and definitely my expertise. So just to kind of like start from the beginning, since we're a nice intimate group, is there any particular type of fundraiser that somebody's like, listen, I got to get this going. I want to get it going right now. Like I need the information on this. Or are we like more like inspiration? What can we do? That sort of thing.
So, hi, my name is Liliana Collazo. Hi, I'm a newly elected PTA president for Riviera Middle School. And I would like to get more information on the general rules of fundraising for PTA with the school. Because I know I'm getting now, since they know they have a president, I'm getting approached about, doing different things.
Sure.
And I know there's like club fundraising, and how does that work with PTA and the, the relationship with PTA and the school. And that's the information I'm trying to get.
So definitely more Sandra.
Liliana, we have a fundraising class this Saturday. The email just went out. I'm not sure if you were on our list already, but I will make sure to forward that to you. So this Saturday, we have that exact topic, fundraising, that you need to join.
Okay, I will be there. I was looking for the email. Thank you.
Do you want to give her just some pointers? So like the things that I know is that we follow a 3-to-1 rule. So for every fundraiser that you do, you need to have 3 programs that is supported by your fundraiser. So that's kind of a general PTA rule that you need to keep in mind. And as far as like your particular school with clubs and things like that, Sandra would definitely be better suited to kind of help you and assist you in figuring out what your PTA can and cannot do. But today we're just going to be talking about the options that are within MemberHub that you can do for fundraising. It looks like Mary said that she's in the exploration mode. I love it. Looking for some inspiration. Anybody else want to chime in with what they're looking for from tonight? Everybody else is just go with the flow. They got nothing better to do on a Tuesday.
Actually, Valerie, I am.
Okay, let's hear it.
I've got a list of things that we're supposed to be doing for fundraising, and I see that my treasurer has logged on from my school. And one of the things we're supposed to be doing is a donation fundraiser. And of course, we were thinking of going with the more popular donation options. So I'd love to see what advantage MemberHub would give us over the name brand donation option that I'm thinking of that starts with a G.
Yeah. So one, it's much more, well, I shouldn't say much more secure. It is more secure than those, right? Because that's like a public site. You have, all kinds of extra eyes and ears and things like that. But for me, and this is a great place to start, I absolutely love our crowdfunding, which is what you would consider a general donation. So I'm playing around in our test unit. So you're going to see some all kinds of crazy things. But the gist of our crowdfunding fundraiser is that you can make it what you want. So if you want to make it a competition, you can make it a competition. I'm actually running we started it last night. We are running our fun run as a crowdfunding campaign instead of a thon, because we're not actually counting any sort of activity. We're not counting laps. We're really just looking for donations. So we have that competition going on where students can earn prizes, classrooms can earn prizes. I know, Sandra, you're at a high school, right? So obviously classes and students is a little less incentive, right? But you could do a competition for the grades, right? Or the classes, right? So you could say class of 22, class of 23, 24, 25, whichever class gets the most money donated in their name, right? then they get extra blah, blah, blah. Cookies in the cafeteria, whatever you think. I mean, I don't have no clue what high schoolers like, but I know you teach in high school, so you probably have a little bit of a better idea of what they like. But whatever, something to incentivize them. And then when the donations are made in their name, right? Like not the student themselves, but in their grade or in the class of, then oh, what'd you say? They like the Takis. Yes, my son, he's almost 11. He likes the Takis too. So everybody gets Takis, right? Like whatever it is that you can incentivize by using the crowdfunding campaign. So I'm actually going to go ahead and hop on over to my school just to kind of give you guys an idea of what it would look like. And this can be for anything. It doesn't have to be, this one is particularly a fun run, but use your imagination that it's just a donation platform. So what it looks like from your person side, right, your donor side, is you get a place to put a really cool image. You also have the ability to add in videos and things like that. You get to customize it with your own images, pictures, whatever. You can customize what you say right here to be, you know, we're really excited that these donations are going to go towards XYZ. Here you can see we have a list of our classes, and you can see where all of them are. We just started yesterday, so you see a lot of zeros, but you can flip it by amount. You can see which classroom is in the lead. You can also have a student leaderboard. We just chose not to for the sake of equity. We can see that on the administrative side, but we chose not to have a public facing student side. You can see that you have a total of amount raised and how far you are to your goal. And then we are the leopards. So we like to we're big on branding. And so we've named all of our students leopards. So this is the Leopard Center. And here you can see parents can register their students. We have 62 registered. I'm really excited about that. And as students register, they can create their own unique pages to get those donations that they're looking for. Again, we have a class leaderboard, and then you can see the prizes. So students earn prizes at different levels, and then classrooms earn prizes at different levels. And again, all of this is super customizable. So it doesn't matter if you are only doing, in Sandra's case, you know, maybe freshman, sophomore, junior, senior classes. You could have just one prize. It doesn't have to be as extravagant as this one is. But you can kind of get the idea that you can, with a crowdfunding, with a regular just, hey, whatever you can donate, we're happy to take your $1 or your $100 or your $1,000, whatever it is that you can contribute, and we'll make a little bit of a competition out of it. And all of the reporting is here too. On top of which, the pricing is super competitive for our fundraising. And this is the same pricing across the board, any of our platforms, whether it's crowdfunding or auction or an a-thon, they're all the same. And there's a lot of variety in it. And it's really helpful to see it as a visual. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of pop one open to let you see what it looks like.
Valerie, can I ask you a question?
Yeah. Who's talking? I'm sorry. Can you introduce yourself? Who was it? Who said Valerie? Was it Liliana? Go ahead. Oh, you're muted, honey. Oh, there you are.
Okay. When you opened one of your crowdfundings, you had like, I guess you list what you're planning to purchase or buy for the school. Is that how
Yes.
you incentivize your school to participate?
Yes, ma'am. It's actually imperative in fundraising that you say what you're going to purchase. Even if it's something like, we're going to fundraise to support our programs, say that, right? If it's for us, we're revamping some of the music department. We're purchasing some technology. We're using some of the money for our programs, and it lists all three of those things. So yeah, and honestly, that's really important for your parents to know.
Okay.
But Valerie, I have to caution everybody, you need to list it in such a way that you've left it open-ended. So you're fundraising for the music department, for the renovation of the teacher's lounge, and other PTA
Yes.
programs? Because if you make it specific, you can only use that money for that specific purpose.
Yeah, and Sandra, that's exactly what we've done. We're saying music department, technology, and PTA programs, right? So it's very like open-ended to the things the PTA needs to do. If you say, for example, 1 year we purchased one of those really large outdoor fans that cost a lot of money. And we knew we were going to spend every single time. And so we were able to say it's just this one thing, and it was just the one thing. But don't pigeonhole yourself. Sandra made really good advice there. Definitely do not pigeonhole yourself to that. So let's talk about pricing a little bit. And as I mentioned before, it doesn't matter what platform you're using in the traditional fundraiser with MemberHub, the options for pricing are the same. So you have free pricing. Free pricing means that you are getting the platform for free. The platform is this whole program that's very intuitive, gives you lots of reporting. What isn't free is the credit card processing fees. So your PTA's responsibility will be 2.2% plus 30 cents per transaction. Your donors are then asked to leave a tip. They can leave $0, they can leave $1 million, whatever the tip is, 100% of that goes to MemberHub. If nobody leaves a tip, MemberHub makes no money. If somebody leaves $1 million, well, thank you. I just made $1 million. No, I'm just kidding. MemberHub just made $1 million, but no one's going to leave $1 million tip. But you get the point, right? 100% of that tip goes to MemberHub, and you guys are only responsible for the Stripe fee, which is that 2.2% plus 30 cents. This is a very affordable option. I mean, I don't know anybody out there that does it less than that, to be quite, except if you choose pricing. Percent means that you are going to incur a 7.5% platform fee, but you have a choice of how that gets paid. You can automatically deduct the fee from funds raised, meaning your PTA will pay the 7.5 off the top. You're not writing us a check. Or you can automatically add that fee to each donor's donation, meaning the donors are paying that 7.5%. Or you can ask donors at checkout if they'll pay the fee. In my experience, 9 out of 10 times, the donors will pick up the fees. And then 1 out of 10 times, you'll get that one curmudgeon who's like, nah, I'm not paying the fees. And then your PTA will pick up the fees. With both the automatically add or ask, you have the option to also pass on those Stripe fees, which again are 2.2% plus 30 cents per transaction. So if you automatically add the fee, the platform fee to your donor's donation, and pass on the Stripe fee, your PTA gets to keep 100% of all donations, which I can't tell you guys enough is so important for PTAs. So if you feel like that's something that you guys can do, if that's something that your communities would be receptive to, I really encourage you to pass on the fees so that way you guys can keep 100% of your donation. And when you mention that to people, they really understand and they want their donation dollars to be stretched. Sandra, how does that compare to the name brand crowdfunding?
That is way better. Like, way better.
I think honestly, for me, fees wise, of course, way better. However, the competition part, especially when you're doing just a donation, and it doesn't have to be extravagant, right? We could talk about Takis here, right? Like, it doesn't have to be extravagant. It could just be the class that wins gets extra recess time, or a free homework pass, or you can get something donated from a business in the area, donut party, pizza party, something. It doesn't have to be this extravagant, but people really like competition. So if you're thinking about doing a donation drive, that is definitely something I think you guys should consider, is just incentivizing it with some sort of either classroom, individual, grade, some sort of incentive, even if it's just school-wide goals. Hey, if we reach our goal, we're gonna pie the principal in the face. Something to incentivize your families really helps and goes a long way. Because to be quite honest, I think for me in particular, product fundraising, there's only so many chocolate bars somebody wants to purchase. There's only so much wrapping paper somebody wants to purchase. So if you're going to go the route of, hey, we're not really asking for much, we're just asking you to give what you can, incentivizing it with a competition really helps too. And just reminding them like, hey, we're not asking you to buy chocolate bars or wrapping paper, all the other things that you can do. Well, I mean, I do like a chocolate bar. I'm not really hating on chocolate bars because I'm known to eat a couple myself, but you know, you get what I'm saying. Is there any questions about fees? Because I really don't want to spend a lot of time on the fees, but I want to make sure everybody understands the fees and has their questions answered.
Not seeing
I
any
must have
questions.
explained it so well. You guys are making me feel really confident here. Okay. So, Sandra brought up a great one, crowdfunding. Is there any other, these are our traditional fundraisers. So we have the raffles, the sweepstakes, a thon event, crowdfunding and auction. Is there any that someone's looking at and is like, ooh, I really want to know about that one that we can go to next?
Are these fundraising allowed for community? Like I have parents that have businesses that want to, you know, donate or be part of an activity. Is this allowable to allow the community or business owners to donate through MemberHub?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can have a business program, a business sponsorship program, which is really a fantastic way to get funds into your school and partner with your community, whether it's in kind, you know, maybe if it's a local pizza place, you can have them donate pizza, and in kind, you know, they get their banner on your, you know, fence for car line pickup or something like that, or they pay a certain amount of money, and then you got, you know, you can have different levels of sponsorship, right? So if you, like in my school, we have a $300, $600, and $1,000. And depending on the level that the business partner chooses is the allowable amount of flyers or social media mentions or events that they get to attend and have like a table. So having those kinds of business partnership programs is a really good way to kind of include everyone. And I'll show you how one school, yes, I want to leave. One school utilized MemberHub to really encourage their business partnerships. And they are, I'm trying to remember what county they're in. They're in Florida.
While you look for them, Valerie, the thing I want to mention is you can just have a donation button in your store.
Yes.
So you don't have to actually be running a particular campaign for fundraising to take a donation.
Definitely
you can
not.
always take a donation just in your store.
Absolutely. And I 100% encourage that. There are other crowdfunding. So if you have an open donation, and you're kind of like, hey, open donation for the entire school year, we're just going to leave it open. Another reason to use crowdfunding that I neglected to mention before, and I'm going to say now, is that a donor can actually set up weekly, monthly, or quarterly donations. So if you have your Sandra liked that one. So if you have a crowdfunding that goes the whole school year, they can go ahead and say, you know what, just like Netflix, I'm going to pay $15 a month to my PTA and it'll come out like clockwork. And you can set it for like, you know, August 10th to June 30th, right? And so every month like clockwork, or every week, or however they set it up when they make that donation, it can come out and you can kind of have that nice rolling revenue. Sandra liked that one. Sandra, you got me excited. How excited you got.
That is exactly what my assistant principal asked for. They wanted to have alumni donate their graduation year's worth of funds every month.
I love that idea, right?
$19.67 if I graduated in 1967.
Yep, and they can set it up on a weekly, monthly, quarterly basis, and you can have like it run the entire school year. The thing is even if somebody makes, and I'm going to be really clear about this too. So if somebody makes a donation and they're like, oh, I want to make a monthly donation, but you end your donation campaign after 1 month, they're not going to continue to get charged. They're only going to continue to get charged for as ever long you have the fundraiser open for. So if you're looking for something like Sandra's talking about, you're going to want to leave it open until the end of your fiscal year, excuse me. You're going to want to leave it open to the end of your fiscal year. So that way, you know, those monthly donations or weekly donations actually come out. So back to Liliana. This is a school, and I cannot remember for the life of me what county they're in, but they are a Florida school, and they did a Fill the Fence fundraiser that is still continuing to go on. So you can see here they have different spots pertaining to, or different amounts pertaining to different spots, which are better viewable from a major roadway. And so you can see here that someone can purchase a particular size banner in a particular area, and they purchase it for a specific amount. And they come in here, they purchase it, they move on, they get the, you know, the representative calls them, says, okay, make sure you send me your logo, and does all of that sort of thing. So this is another school, Liliana, that is utilizing MemberHub to promote that business partnership program.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you say hi? Can you pronounce your name for me?
Sixta.
Sixta. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing it right. All right. Hi, Sixta.
Hi. So with projects like this, because this is one that I felt as if would cater to because I have an inner city school. So my sales cater to different type of demographics.
Sure.
When it comes to second party companies like selling their products for us, how would we go about setting up the membership hub for that?
Okay, so you're saying, so give me an example, like
so for example, with the fence thing, I can't make the banners. So I would have to go through another company to make the banners.
Right.
So how would I do that?
So you could still set up a fundraiser like this, and then you would just partner with a banner company and say, hey, look, I'm doing this thing. This is for my school. What's like the best rate you can give me? You can put your own banner on our, you know, fence line that you create. So we do that at my school, and we worked with a partner, and they're doing it for $50, right? So we pay them to create the banner for $50, but we're charging these other companies a larger fee. So, you know, because they're looking for the actual sponsorship, right? They're looking for whatever benefits we're giving them. So I would just find a company that is friendly to you, that wants to partner with you.
So for example, I can be with a company. Did someone call me?
Yeah, Sixta, it's Sandra. Two things about Dade schools. Make sure that the contract between the banner advertiser is not with you, but with the school system. That is specific of Dade schools.
Oh, is that specific to Miami-Dade?
Yes, ma'am.
We have to go through their vendors.
For sure. Sorry about that.
But I would also save yourself some headache and some volunteer time, Sixta. Make the company provide the banner.
Yes.
It saves you a lot of headache.
Sandra, by any chance, do you have a list of the vendors?
No, ma'am. It's going to be different for every area of the city.
Okay. Thank you.
I didn't know that that was so specific for you guys.
I also wanted to add that if you're having the company make their own banners, to never put that PTA supports them. They need to put that they support the PTA, because otherwise then you get yourself into trouble with, you know, this Pizza Hut but not that Pizza Hut or whatever. So have them.
That's really good advice.
That's what I've seen around the schools that have these banners posted. They put, you know, all state so and so supports the, you know, whatever ABC school PTA. If you have that control, if you're doing the banner, but if you're not, you want to make sure that.
Yes, for sure. So this one that I'm about to show you guys is an auction. It's not a complete auction. It's still in draft, but we're going to use our imaginations a little bit. Where are they? Here we go. So this one's actually, and they're not, this is a different state. This is a school in North Carolina. So they have a Halloween event that they call Hallowbration, and it's a event on campus. And then they also have a raffle and an auction. And you can see here that you can actually put both of those platforms together on one website. And this could be the same for, like, let's say you're having an auction and you're also selling tickets to the event. You can do that on the same. Let's say you were doing what would be another example, another good example? Like, it's usually event tickets with some sort of fundraising thing, right? So that's the typical kind of pairing, or the raffle and the auction together is also a typical pairing. But you can do a pairing on the same website. So you don't have people going to this one for this one and this one for that one. It's all on the same website within MemberHub. And you can see here that you can add sponsors. Again, this one's in draft mode, but you can add sponsors if you've gotten a lot of donations for things. And then you can see here when they select auction items, you can have categories. So if you have a lot of categories for your auction items, you can separate them out. You can also see that you have the ability with the bidding to be either proxy bidding, which is when someone puts in a minimum bid and then their maximum bid, and then the system will just automatically bid them up for them. Or you can have like traditional English style bidding where somebody would have to log in each time to bid. You can see here, oops, click the wrong thing, that you can give tons of details, right? So you have your image here of whatever it is that you're auctioning off with a bunch of information here on what the item is. You can have you can set a minimum bid. You can do a buy it now. A lot of people like that option as well. It's a really intuitive and great platform for auctions. Does anybody here traditionally do an auction at their school? Get items donated and then auction them off? No?
County Council does it. And we used a commercial vendor last year.
Yeah.
And it was.
How much did you end up paying them? Huh?
Not much. I will say that their rates were really low.
Uh-huh.
We made about $4,000 and only paid them, it was under 500. No, it was like 300, sorry.
Here's the major benefit to utilizing MemberHub fundraising, even if in Sandra's case, she's talking about a competitor who's like, oh, it wasn't all that bad, right? It wasn't all that cost, wasn't all that, wasn't a huge issue. Fantastic. I love that you guys find vendors that do that. But what MemberHub can provide is that anytime somebody makes a donation, and this is really important for county council, anytime somebody makes a donation, they get added to your contacts in your regular MemberHub. So each year you can continue to hit those same donors, right? Hey, you donated last year. Would you like to donate again? Hey, you donated the year before. Would you like to donate again? Hey, we have that event you went to last year. Would you like to come again? You have the ability to have all of those donors and all of those people who registered for your events automatically go into your contacts, and then have the ability to contact them throughout the year and encourage those relationships. So that's something that definitely is fantastic to use from year to year to year to year, and a benefit that you guys get with utilizing MemberHub fundraising, besides our low fees. And in particular with auctions and with crowdfunding, you don't really have to sign in or anything like that. But with auctions and raffles and a-thons, sometimes the donor or the parent who registered the student needs to log in to, in particular, like an auction, right? You want to be able to log in and see what you bid on and maybe change your bid and things like that. It's the same login. And it's the same login forever and ever and ever. Once they sign up with MemberHub at kindergarten, that same MemberHub account, as long as they don't change their email, goes all the way through high school, and they can use it on the fundraising platform should they need to log in. So you're not, oh, this year we're using this, and now parents got to create a login for that. Oh, now we're using this, and parents got to create a login for that. You can have the ease for the parent side is really fantastic. So one thing that I did a lot of with Miami-Dade last year, you guys really like those Papa John's pizza cards. Does anybody do the Papa John's fundraiser? Yeah. You can actually sell those in your store. So and I know A lot of people do the Papa John's pizza fundraiser. So you can sell those in your store. You can run a report that shows exactly how many you need to get from Papa John's and then who needs them, and you can disperse them out. So it's another great way to partner up with something that you guys already are doing in the products fundraiser, like the Papa John's pizza cards, and sell them in your store. And I'm going to go ahead, unless somebody had other questions about the traditional fundraisers. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to see? A lot of schools in your area do readathons, to encourage literacy and raise some needed funds for the PTA. So we do have the ability to do that. The parents can log the minutes, or the teachers can log the minutes, depending on how you want to handle things. And we talked about everything else but the event platform. Well, we kind of talked about it. That Fill the Fence business partnership, they were utilizing our event platform to do that. And the event platform is the most versatile. I've done drive-in movies using the event platform. I've done Stock the Teacher Lounge using the event platform. I've done picnics, field day, where even if it's just like a very small amount of money, even it's like, hey, it's $1 a ticket, you can utilize the event platform to do that. The reporting is really nice, and you have the ability to check people in as they show up on the platform. So you have that kind of automated way of doing things too. And one other thing that I forgot to mention, and you can utilize this with raffle, auction, and the event platform, is a promo code. So if you want to sell your PTA tickets at one price and everyone else a ticket at another price, the PTAers can utilize a promo code, or teachers, or specific community partners, or things like that. If you want to have them either come for free or discount it, you can utilize promo codes. One of my favorite examples of using a promo code for auctions or raffles is that you can get your families to donate items to the raffle or to the auction. And in turn, they get X amount of raffle tickets for free, or they get an X amount of dollars off their first bid. Those are really great ways to kind of like get some donations and then also incentivize it back, right? So utilizing the promo code is really fantastic. Let's talk a little bit about product sales in your store, because that's another way of fundraising, right? That's a little bit more passive because somebody's purchasing something. They don't really feel like they're fundraising, right? They're purchasing the Papa John's pizza card. They don't really think of it as fundraising. They're like, well, I'm getting pizza, right? Or your spirit wear. They're thinking, oh, I'm buying the t-shirt. They're not really thinking about how you guys are fundraising and how you guys are making a profit from that. So you can utilize the online store. We have inventory control. You have the ability to ask any question that you need answers on. For example, student's name, or who their teacher is, or, I know like a lot of schools have like houses, right? And things like that. If you need to have any of that sort of information, you can get it in the store. Are you guys utilizing your stores pretty well? Like, is everybody utilizing their MemberHub stores? Yeah, I'm getting head shakes.
We just started, so we haven't really established a store.
Yeah. Are you having any? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Sandra, another question, because Spirit Shirts were also something that the parents were expressing interest in. That will also have to be a vendor through Miami-Dade as well?
No, Spirit Shirts is something that you work out just with your principal.
Okay, perfect.
They have to approve the design. That's the only requirement.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
That's awesome.
So as soon as I approve the design, I guess I could start up the membership store to show and display the t-shirts.
Yeah, you can see here that we do our t-shirts in cotton and dry fit. Our families have the option, and you can pick the size. You can put in your child's name. You can say who your child's teacher is, so that way we can deliver it to the right classroom.
Mm-hmm.
You can add as many as you need to the cart. You check out, easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And we have inventory control. So if you do like a big bulk order and you're like, I've only got 5 smalls and 10 mediums and 15 larges, you won't oversell. Or you can do it as a pre-order where you open it up for a certain amount of time. Everybody purchases, you close it down, and then you can run that report and give it to your vendor. Like, I need 100 smalls, 200 mediums, 300 larges. All right. Is it pronounced Carrie? We are new with event platform. Our school hasn't truly done fundraising in a long time. Yes, that is true for a lot of us, considering that we haven't really been in the schools in a really long time, right? So Carrie, is there a specific event that you're looking to host?
Sorry, struggling with connection.
No worries, no worries.
Not really. I'm kind of getting myself, involved now,
Sure.
and I'm trying to bring in ideas. They're going to be meeting tomorrow to put together the committee, between
Awesome.
parents and teachers involved. So they asked me kind of to jump in and try to get some ideas so that we can build off of that to kind of build our program again, basically from scratch.
Absolutely. So the things, and I know that you were having some connectivity issues. So we've talked about some crowdfunding, we've talked about auctions, we've talked about just straight up events. So for me, I think finding something all of your, are you in elementary school or middle school or high school?
Elementary.
School. So doing something fun for the family, like thinking of something that is going to be nice and safe and fun, and then, trying to get most of whatever it is donated. So that way, whatever you guys charge as a fundraiser gets to come back to you. So one example would maybe be like a movie night. Maybe get somebody, a business partner, to sponsor a movie night. And then, you guys can sell concessions. Everybody can be spaced out and COVID safe. And then you guys can, make a little bit of money and provide a really fun event for your families. I don't know what the rules are in Miami-Dade. Sandra's going to chime in and tell me something wrong.
Exactly.
I'm so sorry. I was on with Alvin, Valerie.
No worries. No worries.
What
are the rules about movie nights?
It needs to be a licensed movie. You can't kill those copyright laws. So you have to either
license and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have a license either through the school or separately through, there's lots of different places that do licensing.
Yeah. But my encouragement would be to find a business partner or a couple of business partners who will pay for all of that, right? And then you can say, hey, this is brought to you by blah, blah, blah insurance and yada, yada, small business over here, right? Like get somebody to kind of incur the cost of the actual movie, right? Whether it's the license and things like that, donate the money for you. And then you guys can charge admission and you guys can charge concessions. And that is a way for you guys to make it a fundraiser. And you can use the event platform to sell your tickets, including your concessions, you can do some pre-sale concessions. Or some event like that, right? Even if it's, in a COVID world, it might be like a carnival or something like that, where the kids can jump around on inflatables. All right. So is there any questions about product fundraising and maybe using other, like I already mentioned the Papa John's pizza cards. I had a lot of schools last year set these up in their stores. Is there any other questions about how to utilize the store for any of this? Whether it's a product sale or something else?
Valerie, you've got one.
Valerie. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'll let you speak in a minute. Valerie, you have one PTA president who's on here today who literally got her unit ID today. That's how new she is.
Yay!
And that would be Mary Reeves.
The dark side. No, I'm just kidding.
That would be our Mary Reeves, who is the president of For Our Children.
Awesome.
Cindy, go ahead.
My question was, I came in a few minutes late, so I didn't see the onset of the presentation. How do we initially set up the different products? Because we have our store set up, but we just have membership and we do donations. We have a donation tab in our spirit shirts. But the other products, how do you guys, I didn't see how you incorporated those things into the store.
You haven't missed a thing because I haven't talked about it. So you're good to go. So let's go ahead and talk about that really fast. Here over in your online store, you can select products, and then you can select new products. And then you're just going to follow through the prompts. You put in the name of your product, a description of your product. If you want to give it a long description, you can give it a longer description. You're going to set the price to your product. My suggestion is to create a category prior to setting up your product. So like if you're doing like an apparel or like spirit shirts or something like that, like maybe you want to set a category to that first, and then obviously you'll just assign it to that category. Because it's an online purchase, you'll already get the first and last name of the purchaser and their email address, but other information that you might need is like child's name or the size t-shirt or the color that you're looking for.
Resources, we could post things on our Facebook.
It sounded like there was some background noise, so sorry about that. So you can add in all of those options to create your product. A couple of new things. So obviously you can see the colors and sizes is kind of preloaded where you can add those things, but here under custom option, that's where you can go ahead and ask like, what's your child's name? Who's your teacher? I don't know. Do you want to pick up on day A or day B? Whatever the information is that you're looking for with that product sale, you can ask the question here in field name. And then under field type, you have 3 options. They can answer by typing it in, by selecting from a drop down, or selecting multiple things. So an example might be like selecting a teacher, right? You just want to hit that select. A multi-select might be like, I need, oh gosh, my brain turned off for a second, y'all. I don't know what a multi-select would be for a product, but maybe you guys could come up with one that like maybe they need to pick, you know, multiple options. The other thing that you might want to take a look at here is this is new. This is new as of last Friday. You can add in any question as a property to your contact. So for example, if you're collecting the name of the child and the name of the teacher, you might want to add that as a property to the contact, because anything that anyone in your store, whether it's membership, spiritware, pizza, they also get added to your contact list. And when they get added to your contact list, you might want to filter them by grade or by teacher or things of that nature. And then you can go ahead and filter your contacts that way if you select that little button. So they answer the question in the store when they're purchasing that product, and then you're able to filter to the list of those people, right? So if you wanted to, if you're selling products and, you know, people are putting down Miss Smith as their teacher, and you can come in here to contacts and you're like, all right, who's here for Miss Smith's class? And you can see everybody. Is that helpful, Cindy? Like kind of a little bit more step by step?
Definitely. Thank you.
You are welcome. I did also neglect to mention here in this part that this is where you can also turn on inventory tracking, and you can also add in a photo of the product. Photos help immensely. Definitely put a photo of your product in there. Or, you know, if you're selling, you know, like water bottles, at least just throw up a water bottle, you know, as a picture or something like that.
Valerie, I hate to interrupt you, but no. Sandra lost power to her laptop. So you are
I kind of noticed that she dropped off. That's okay. I can handle it. Don't burn me at the stake.
She can't log back in, she says. For whatever it is, it locked her out.
It locked her out.
Yes, she lost power of her laptop and she went to get the other one, and it will not let her back in. Man. So it's us and you.
It's us and me. That's okay. I can handle it. Anybody else have any other questions about product sales in their store? We're good? All right. The last thing that I kind of wanted to mention to you before we go, unless there's some specific questions, is our givebacks program. So givebacks is our passive fundraiser that you can add products to your store. They're already there. They're already, oh, I'm in a bad one because I have all of the givebacks in here. Let me go to my store. So over here under give backs, you can see I've added all of these products to my store. So anytime someone purchases one of these products, I get a donation. Works very similar to Amazon Smile or box tops or things of that nature. Someone comes in here and they're like, oh, you know what? I was just about to buy some masks. Let me go ahead and buy them from here. And so they'll come in here and they're going to get a box of, 50 for $16. And every time someone purchases this one box for $16, my PTA gets a donation of $4.50. So this is a great way for those passive funds without you guys having to do anything at all. Like this is literally like a set and forget type fundraiser. It promotes itself. Your contacts will get an email every Tuesday telling them about givebacks and what is featured that week. And the money just gets deposited straight into your account like your other payouts every Friday. I forgot to mention that in fundraising too, that you get your deposits through Stripe. So you will get deposits for your fundraiser every Friday as your fundraiser is running. Cindy, what's up?
Question. So with givebacks, do they handle the shipping and everything? Like if when somebody come and purchase one of these items, they handle all that processing part of it?
Yep. You don't pay any fees. In fact, you don't have to worry about a thing. When they're purchasing it, they get an email to handle ordering whatever, in this case, it goes straight to an order, but one of the options on here is a flower voucher. So it's with FTD. And so they get a voucher. It's a certain amount of money off of their flowers. And then they go to the flower website, they order their flowers, they put in their voucher code, they move on with their day. They're happy-go-lucky. And you get that. I think that one is $2.25. So every time somebody purchases one of those, you guys get $2.25. And you get it when they purchase it, not when they redeem it. So they could say, oh, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and purchase this now, but my anniversary isn't until 3 months from now. Doesn't matter to you. You're going to get that $2.25 now. They redeem it when they redeem it.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any questions about givebacks? My current favorite is for elementary school. This is really important, is the Yumble. This is a 8 meal, gets delivered. It's like one of those, little microwave meals. I actually ordered it for my kids. Little 8 meals that you get to pick. The family purchases it for $27.96. And then your PTA gets $26.96 every time someone purchases one of those. So that's a lot of money.
Cindy has a question, Valerie.
I think that was her hand from before.
Oh, okay.
Unless you have another question, Cindy.
No, that was from before. I didn't know how to
undo it.
Undo it. Yeah, let me see. Yeah. Okay, I see it. Sorry.
I do have a question. And
Maria, what's up?
In the givebacks, when we sign up for these, the parents or anybody that's going, how do they find out about it other than when they go to our order something or the website? Do they get emails? And because that was my fear that they would get bombarded with emails advertising.
It's not a bombardment. It's just every Tuesday. It's 1 email a week, every Tuesday with a different give back featured. So I think today's Tuesday. What was today's? I think today's might've been the Yumble. I can't remember what today's was.
Okay, so every Tuesday is the only time they get
That's the only time they get it. And they can opt out of them, and it does not opt them out of your emails. So they can opt out of the give back emails and not opt out from you.
Okay.
So if they're really irritated about it, by all means, tell them to opt out. But they're going to miss out on some good deals. That's all I'm going to say. Is that helpful, Maria? Okay, cool. Any other questions about givebacks? All right. Any other questions about the traditional fundraising? I'm going to go ahead and start putting in my contact information into the chat. I really highly, I'm going to say it one more time, highly encourage you that if you're going to set up a fundraiser with MemberHub, that you go ahead and book a 30-minute meeting with me. In that 30-minute meeting, we're going to go through the entire setup process. You are not on your own. I go through the whole process with you, start to finish. We answer all the questions together. We get it 99.5% the way done. The 0.5% that you have to do is usually just adding in some images or some fancy custom wording, but the structure of the fundraiser will be all set up for you. And then, of course, you have my support the entire time your fundraiser runs. And all of that comes free, like everything else with MemberHub. So if you're interested in setting up a fund or your auction or your crowdfunding, please, please, please make sure that you connect with me, and then we can get you guys all set up. And if you haven't already, you do need to set up your Stripe account. Because everything does run through, all of the money, I should say, all the transactions do on the back end sort of run through your store. And actually, I'll show you what that looks like a little bit. So we just started our fundraiser yesterday. So when we go to our online store and we go to view orders, you'll see these like longer looking order IDs are actually fundraising donations from our fundraiser. So if I want to go click on this one, you can see this one was a $50 donation to our Leapin' Leopards. And so then that means that my payout report on Friday will have all of these transactions in them as well. This is not where you want to run your reporting for your donations, but this is where your treasurer is going to see those deposits. You're going to run your reporting in your fundraising platform, but this is really helpful for your treasurer, which is another benefit to utilizing MemberHub fundraising, because then your treasurer doesn't have to go over here for this and over here for that. Like, it's all in MemberHub, all the payouts in the same place.
Is there I got a question. Is there a payout of items on your store? Actually, no, it wouldn't be, because if you have membership in there and you have items, t-shirt stuff, it lumps them all together like this too.
It does, but your report, which I'm going to go ahead and just run the last one, will show you exactly what was in your deposit. So in this example, here's my thing. There was a deposit of $284.23. But when I look at my payout report, which pulled up on the other side.
Mine won't let me see individual ones. I wonder why.
Oh yeah, sure does.
It only lets me see like lump sum point, like not like if I want to print up the report for just the last one, like you just did right now. I can't. It'll have the last one and the previous one and the previous, all of them together.
I don't think you're pulling it right.
Yeah, I must be doing something.
Yeah, if you want to set up a meeting, like a 15-minute meeting, we can go through it together. But you can see here in that 280, whatever it was, deposit, I had a give back, right? So I got my $26.84. Someone purchased a yearbook. Someone purchased some birthday and lights, which is a product we sell. Somebody purchased some memberships. Somebody purchased some spirit shirts. Oh, here's another Yumble. So you can see that when my treasurer comes in here, they can manipulate this data and say, okay, so this amount of money from this deposit goes to the membership budget line. This amount of money from this deposit goes to this spiritware budget line. They're able to break down the payout report and separate it out to those different budget lines, which is, they love this. This is the treasurer's best friend, right, Maria?
Yes. Yes, I'm a treasurer for too many places, and
too many places.
That's why I was like, okay, I can't figure it.
Yeah, book a 15 minutes with me. We'll get it figured out.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. Hey, Patricia,
Hi.
what's up?
How are you? Valerie, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was saying hi. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I came in late because there's so many Zooms tonight for me, but I didn't want to miss this. One of the things I was going to ask, because now I have someone where you have the Yumbles. I think that's awesome for a couple of kids that I know, and I wanted to know, how do you get to that? Is there a website that they can look at it to see what meals are on there that they want, or how do we get there?
Yeah. So when you purchase that Yumble voucher, if you click this view details, it's in the actual voucher after you've purchased the voucher. It gives you the website, but the website is just yumble.com.
Okay.
No, it's not. Hang on. Let's Google Yumble.
How long does it take to set up a store?
Yumblekids.com, excuse me. What was that?
How long does it take to set up this what you have? How long does that take?
2 seconds. You just add it to your store and then it's there.
No, not that. I'm saying that to set up the store, is that a long process or no?
Oh gosh, no.
Okay.
As long as you have your Stripe set up already, Patricia, or no?
I had one for my campaign. I closed that, but I still think I have access to Stripe, so I'm familiar with that.
When you say your campaign, I'm not really, you opened up Stripe in your store, right? You came over here.
No, I didn't have a store. I ran for office, so I'm familiar with Stripe.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I misunderstood. So your Stripe will be associated with your PTA. So obviously it won't be the one you created before, but you'll come here to your online store. You'll click store settings. There will be a button over here that says set up your Stripe now. You'll click that and you just go through the process. As long as you have the things that you need, which is your EIN, your banking information, takes about 5 to 7 minutes. I always say the longest part of it is going to find all that information, right? Like, oh, I got to go find the checkbook. Oh, I got to go figure out where the EIN is, right? I always kind of joke that those are the things that take the longest.
Okay.
But yeah, no, setting up the store, gosh. The whole thing, if you're going to put in products, you're going to add in your membership, you're going to set up your Stripe, we're talking about 25 minutes maybe.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm happy if, Patricia, you want to go ahead and click on my meeting link and book a 30-minute meeting with me. I'm more than happy to walk through that whole process with you step by step.
Okay. I can do that, but it won't be tonight. I have another Zoom at 8:30.
Oh gosh, girl, you think I'm gonna work after 8 o'clock tonight? I'm going to bed. I'm beat. No, it opens up to my calendar, so you'll be able to find a time that works for you.
Okay, that's awesome. I could do that.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think if nobody else has any more questions for you, you've done great.
Yeah.
Providing a lot of great information, new information for me even.
Maria's like, I learned something new.
Yes,
yeah, no, I just really encourage you guys, as you're considering your fundraising and what you want to do for the year, that you consider MemberHub as an option. And I'm happy to get creative with you guys. Book a meeting. We'll figure out what it is. If you have like, well, I just don't know how this is going to work. I have this crazy idea. Those are my favorite. I love crazy ideas. I love getting creative with fundraising. So just book a time with me and I'm happy to walk you guys through that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Valerie.
You guys are so welcome. If there's not any other questions, I'll go ahead and end the meeting, and I appreciate everyone's time tonight.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.